Hello, it's Jay here, back on my NFL predictions on YouTube. To recap week 13, I got 13 out of 15 predictions correct. Maybe a personal best this year, but let's move on to week 14. Number 1, Las Vegas at Los Angeles Rams. And I'm picking the Raiders winning 30-23. Okay, the Rams just sucked. 6 lost games in a row, or 6 L's in a row, rather saying. And Aaron Donald not playing his best, and the Rams defense seems to be lost in the pass game, but maybe they found the rhythm in the rush game. So I expect Derek Carr to get his 4th win in a row. And he has Davante Adams, and I think Davante Adams will beat Jalen Ramsey all around. And hopefully Max Crosby should contain Baker Mayfield or the other starting quarterback. The Rams just suck. They've lost a lot of good players. Starters have ended up on injured reserve. A lot of offensive lineups. So, not looking good for the Rams, but definitely looking good for the Raiders. Number 2, Minnesota at Detroit. And I am picking the Vikings winning in overtime, 33-30. Well, the Vikings defense and the Lions defense have shown some improvement this year. Well, the exception is Detroit. They've won 3 games in a row since firing their safeties coach. But Minnesota, they just seem to be on another level. Like, they came back from a deficit from Buffalo a few weeks ago, and maybe they will come back from a deficit in Detroit. So I expect the Vikings to go out and sweep the Lions once and for all this season. I can see Kirk Cousins passing deep to Justin Jefferson, and this will kind of remind me of how Tua, Tyreek, and Jalen burned the Lions defense. So same scenario here, just with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins. So that's what it's going to be like. Number 3, Baltimore at Pittsburgh. And I am picking the Ravens winning 20-17. Well, Pittsburgh kind of got lucky off of a shitty Falcons team, and the Ravens, they just got lucky to win by a point. Like, Lamar was out, and both offenses struggled, but the Broncos suck, and the Ravens just found a way to win. So I expect them to win. There's obviously no Ben Roethlisberger, so they can do nothing to stop the Ravens. So all Baltimore. Maybe Pittsburgh will put a defensive effort, but the Ravens will come up clutch. Number 4, Cleveland at Cincinnati, and I am picking the Browns winning 30-27. Joe Burrow seems to have his nightmares against Cleveland, but Deshaun Watson's back, so maybe he can be better than what he was the previous week. And I'm sure he'll create a lot of deep passes, perhaps to Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones. And Nick Chubb should be able to get us another 100-yard rushing game or more. Joe Mixon, probably not good for him because Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, they know what they're doing. So do not sleep on Cleveland. And they probably have a chance to take 2nd place or possibly lock in 3rd place in the division. So that's pretty much all for Cleveland. They're taking the victory. 4th game in a row, they win. Number 5, New York Jets at Buffalo, and I am picking the Bills winning 40-27. Well, New York probably got lucky the last couple weeks when they went 6-3, and Zach Wilson outplayed Josh Allen. It was pretty surprising, although I was not expecting that. But now, I'm expecting the Jets to fly into Buffalo, and they're not going to look good in Buffalo because Buffalo, it's Buffalo. The fans get loud, they jump on tables, and with a Bills Mafia and a supportive fan base, they're going to create a lot of noise for the Jets. And Buffalo knows what they got to do at home. So it's all Buffalo. Perhaps Mike White might score some touchdowns in garbage time, but it won't really matter at the end because Buffalo just wins it. It's a blowout victory. Number 6, Houston at Dallas. And I am picking the Cowboys winning 49-13. Why such a blowout? Well, nothing more can be said about this because, Houston is gone for good. They're the first team eliminated this season. So I expect the Cowboys to just come out and rout the Houston defense just like they did to Indianapolis in the fourth quarter. So nothing more can be said. All Dallas, period. Number 7, Philadelphia at New York Giants. And I am picking the Giants winning 23-20. It's quite a battle in the NFC East, but I will tell you that I'm picking the Giants because perhaps Saquon Barkley is a better running back than Miles Sanders. And the Giants defense got 5 sacks on Taylor Heinicke, so I expect perhaps Saquon and the Giants defense to step up. Daniel Jones can step up as well. And I expect them to contain Jalen Hurts in the pocket, preventing him from running. I also can expect a lot of passing from Jalen Hurts. Maybe he'll have a great game passing, but he'll just come up short. And he's in New York, so what do you expect when you're in New York? You probably expect an upset. And perhaps that will help the Giants push toward a playoff victory. Let's hope so. Number 8, Jacksonville at Tennessee. And I am picking the Titans winning 31-17. Well, it seems like Jacksonville was pretty much embarrassing themselves in Detroit last week. But, yeah, they got a comeback win against Baltimore. But I believe that the Titans have much more weapons than the Jaguars do. And obviously, the king of all kings, Derrick Henry. The Jaguars' defense is no match for him because he's just too good at what he does. So, in other words, do not sleep on Tennessee because they're just going to come at you pretty quickly. So if you have the Jaguars' defense, you better sit them down. Number 9, Kansas City at Denver. And I am picking the Chiefs winning 31-20. Okay, Denver, you suck ass. Russell Wilson, you suck ass. You just suck ass this season. So it's going to be all Mahomes. The Chiefs defense, they're going to chop up the Broncos and cook them for good. Broncos out, Broncos country, you're eliminated. That's all I can say and nothing more. Number 10, Carolina at Seattle. And I am picking the Seahawks winning 27-17. Okay, the Panthers, yeah, it's just a waste of a season. Basically, they can't get their quarterback situation right, and the Seahawks defense will be able to expose the Carolina offense's weakness. They'll probably just beat them all out. So that's pretty much all for Seattle. And Geno Smith, he's playing super well, so I expect him to pass to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and they're going to score the touchdowns. Yep, all said. Number 11, Tampa Bay at San Francisco, and I am picking the 49ers winning in overtime, 23-20. Okay, these two teams are arguably playoff contenders, but it's going to be a tough one because San Francisco lost Jimmy Garoppolo, and Tampa Bay, they're 6-6, and they're leading the division. But I expect San Francisco's defense to do a much better job than Tampa's defense because they're just first in some categories, and when you have a defensive line like this that is Super Bowl caliber, 2 defensive lines actually that are Super Bowl caliber, I expect them to go head to head. This is going to be a defensive game, defensive touchdowns, so what do you know? Maybe it's the defense who scores all the touchdowns and perhaps not the quarterbacks who do it. Besides, it's just going to be a tough defensive day in San Francisco for both teams. But I expect Brock Purdy to at least set up Robbie Gould for a game-winning field goal. Perhaps that will happen in overtime. Number 12, Miami at Los Angeles Chargers. And I am picking the Dolphins winning 30-26. Okay, well, it seems like the Dolphins had a bit of an upset in San Francisco, but when they go down to Los Angeles, they will be ready to kick ass against the Chargers. Okay, the Chargers have been such a disappointment this season. I probably expected more from them, but just winning close games and losing close games and just not playing to your best at your fullest potential. And it's quite troublesome that the Chargers have been inconsistent, so no playoffs for them. But I expect the Dolphins to come fully loaded and fully prepared to expose the Chargers' defense. And plus, Miami has been playing more consistently. Better receivers, better defense, better quarterback. That's pretty much all I can say for Miami. Number 13, New England at Arizona, and I am picking the Cardinals winning 24-20. Well, it seems like Matt Patricia can't find a way to guide Mac Jones to find a victory because, like, all he does is scribble on his play sheet or play call book. Whereas the Cardinals, they just got heartbroken by a 2-point conversion. So I can expect the Cardinals to step up again and possibly rethink their situation. And I'm sure Mac Jones will have some trouble finding his receivers against the tough Cardinals defense. And the Cardinals defense, I believe, are playing alright, but the Patriots defense are playing well. But I think the Patriots defense will be better than the Patriots offense. And I think Kyler Murray will find DeAndre Hopkins, find Marquise Brown. He'll find his receivers, and he'll find a way to win this game because Kyler does Kyler things. And the teams that are on bye this week for Week 14 are Indianapolis, New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, Chicago, and Green Bay. 6 teams on bye, so 13 predictions total. Alright, that's it for Week 14, and I'll be back for Week 15 next Wednesday. Alright, take care.